Hi, I'm Cameron Bailey. I'm the artistic director at TIFF. I'm so glad to see all of you here and to have witnessed the world premiere of this remarkable documentary and the chronicle of this amazing life. Really unprecedented. There is nobody who's had a career like Quincy Jones. We are about to play some music for you, but before we do that, I want to bring out the two directors and the man himself. Please join me in welcoming Rashida Jones, Alan Hicks, and Mr. Quincy Jones.
Thank y'all. Thank you. Good Lord.
Quincy, first of all, welcome to Toronto. I'm so glad you could be here and that we could all be here to witness your incredible career.
I said thank you.
That was basically
That's what
it.
happens in the 85.
I said thank you for being here.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's
Thank you.
basically it. Okay. I want to begin by asking the two filmmakers about trying to get this story, this incredible life that's encompassed so much into one film, one narrative thread. How did you find just, what to keep in, what to leave out?
Well, it was hard. It was hard, as you can imagine.
We shot 800 hours
My God.
of Quincy, the verite footage over
Can't get it all in.
and we found 2,000 hours of archival footage in his archive and vault. So it's 2,800 hours worth of material.
It's only 70 years.
Yeah, it was for certain a challenge, but I think what we knew we wanted to do was to have that balance between verite and archival, and only go back to archival through his kind of intimate inner voice.
Now, you grew up with your father, and were you surprised by anything you discovered in making the film?
I think it was just the consistency of pattern that he pushed himself to the limit every decade, to sometimes a health crisis or a nervous breakdown or whatever it was, and then every single time managed to survive, reset, recalibrate, and make a decision to live his life in a different way. And he did it. He's done it over and over again. You got a lot of lives, Dad.
Don't stop till you get enough.
I want to ask you, Quincy, can I call you Q, by the way?
Q, please.
All right, thank you. Let me call you Q.
That means you're old. Never gonna be a grown-up.
You kept reinventing yourself all the way along. From jazz musician, working with Sinatra, all of the work you did in the 50s, to the soundtrack work, to the pop work with Michael and so many others, and now to see Kendrick Lamar in this film as well.
Love Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. So
Dave Chappelle,
Yes.
Kendrick, Chance, Weekend, already on the ground.
What,
How many kids out there?
what kept you moving on from one thing to the next? Why did you not just stop and say, I'm good, I'll just be a composer, I'll just be a jazz musician?
I never want to be a grown-up. Grown-ups are boring. My friend said, Johnny Mandel, the guy that wrote Shadow of Your Smile, we've been friends since we were teenagers. He said, he's 92 now, and he called me about 6 months ago and said, Q, we're going to be the first two dudes that go from infancy to Alzheimer's and bypass grown-up.
Seems to be working anyhow. Whatever you're doing, just keep doing it.
It's fun, man. You're retired is pitiful. You take the R-E off of retired is pitiful, isn't it? Tired.
Yeah. Now, we're in Toronto. Toronto has some jazz history.
I was there in 1952 at
That's
Massey
what I
Hall.
wanna- that's what I wanna
Charlie
ask you
Parker.
about, yes.
I was there with Lionel Hampton. I was there. I'm 18 years old. They don't play here. This is a bebop city too. A little hip hop, bebop.
It is a
whatever.
hip hop city as well.
Bebop, hip hop, doo wop. Laptop.
One of the things that's always been clear is that you see music as all one. It's all related, all connected.
Exactly, and it's either good or it's bad. And I like the good music. All kinds of. I didn't have to learn anything to do Michael. We did that since I was 13 years old with Ray Charles, rhythm and blues, everything. Schottisches, bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, strip dances, everything.
With somebody like this who is, so playful and so kind of free flowing in terms of how he talks, how he tells stories, when you were editing down those 2,800 hours, which I can barely believe, what did you want to capture most about this man? What was the character and the traits that you really wanted people to see on screen?
Well, there was, because Rashida is obviously his daughter, and I'm originally a musician, so I coming from a different angle. When me and Rashida would first discuss how we wanted the film to come to be, she had all of these personality traits about Quincy that she would tell me about, but I didn't know about just yet. And then as we were filming and going forward, I'd just see these things just unfold. I'm like, oh my God. And so it was a mixture of just discovering the man. So she knew a lot, obviously, and I knew a bit. So it was, for me personally, it was a huge discovery. And I think, Rashida, you learned some things about your dad too.
Yeah. Well, I think the things I wanted to get across, the problem is he's too damn accomplished. So whenever there's any coverage of him or documenting of him, there's no room for personality because you have to cover so much success over so many decades. So I wanted it to be clear, and we really strive to make sure that people understood that his personality. It's so weird to talk about you in the third person when you're right here. Sorry, Dad. But his personality is such a huge part of how he approaches his work. So you can't. It's not one or the other. His insatiable curiosity, the way he connects with people on every single day in every country all over the world, in a meaningful way, in an authentic way. That's a part of why he's so great at what he does, and I wanted to make sure that people got that.
Well, thank you, Katie. My heart. I stopped drinking 2.5 years ago. You can see why. All those heart attacks and everything, diabetes and everything. And I feel like another person, but I'm just getting started now. Just starting now. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can I ask you about spotting talent, about seeing a young Oprah Winfrey and saying, she's got it, for
That's
instance?
my next talent. I can't drive a car at all. But my talent, I can see talent in a person before they know they have it. I don't care if it's Michael or Oprah, Will Smith, Devin Campbell, Johnson Brothers. I can see it. Johnson Brothers were in my band, and they were the Johnson Brothers, and I changed it to the Brothers Johnson. And look out for number one. And boy, we had 4 albums with 4 quadruple platinum. And I want to thank this audience so much from my heart before I go. Your attentiveness just blew my mind, Just thank you so much for spending your time here. I love you for that. I really mean
Thank
that.
you.
And as I said, I'm too old to be full of it.
This is the Toronto audience. Let me just ask you one last thing before we go.
Gone.
We're going off stage. I'm going to play some music now. Of all of the people you've worked with, Michael Jackson, Oprah Winfrey, Will Smith, going all the way.
Aretha.
Aretha. Yes, Aretha.
Bonnie Washington, Ella, Sarah, Billie Holiday, 14. It's blessed. It's God's His divine intervention, and when I reflect on it now, after not drinking now, because your mind's clear, because you're not numbed out with alcohol. And you see that it's about divine intervention. We take credit for it. It's our Creator that does that divine intervention. And puts you together with these people. There's 8 billion people out here. You're not going to meet all of them. And it's amazing. I look back about all of the things that happened. I don't know how it happened, like somebody else.
I was going to ask you, is there anyone that you wish you'd had more time with, that you'd been able to work with on more albums?
Yeah, well, I was supposed to do Whitney's first album, but I was busy with Michael. I was supposed to do Bobby McFerrin's album. Who else? And Marvin. I was supposed to do a thing with Marvin, too, when he was in Clock-les-Zout in Belgium. But, you can't do it all. I tried.
You got close to doing it all. So.
And Rashida, obviously your father is one of a kind, and this movie will get out to audiences all over the world. What do you want people who don't know the full story of Quincy Jones to know about your father?
Oh. Well, everything really. I mean, I think that was our goal, was how can we cram as much in this incredible, unmatched lifetime and unmatched person. I mean, he's a true one of a kind. So if they get even just a little taste of what it's like to hang out and have a good laugh and know everything that he's contributed to the world, I'll be so happy. Yeah.
That it makes more sense now, but in the late 50s, when I was studying with Nadia Boulanger in Paris, who taught Stravinsky, Leonard Bernstein, all those people, and she always told me, she said, you jazz guys are hard to deal with because you shack up with music first, then you court it and marry it later. But she says, your music can never be more or less than you are as a human being. And so I worked on the human being for a while, too, because that's important. The music doesn't matter if you don't have it as a human being. That's with anything, dancing or rapping or beats and rhymes, whatever.
We're about to be blessed to hear a little bit from Chaka Khan and Mark Ronson.
She's here.
What can you tell us about these two artists? What do you want to say about Chaka and about Mark?
Chaka, I've been working with Chaka since before electricity. I love that lady. We helped formulate the Operation Push for Jesse Jackson right after Dr. King got killed. And I feel so lucky that I met Dr. King in 1955, worked with him for a while, and worked with Mandela for 44 years. But what was the question again? I'm sorry.
What do you want to tell us about?
Up here.
Well, you were telling us about Chaka and also about Mark.
Yeah, well, Chaka's been one of my favorites forever. Back in the Minnie Riperton days and the Rotary Connection in Chicago, But we've hit it with a lot of things. Did anybody here see I'll Be Good to You with her and Ray Charles? So much fun.
And Mark Ronson?
Mark Ronson, unbelievable. And I'm so glad that he's involved in this, because he's a very, very talented man. I know his sister, his father, his mother, His father wrote, what is it? Oh, God, he wrote some great hits. I want to know what love is. Oh, forget it.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, all these guys know what, they got that thing down. Down.
Okay, we're going to let them set up for the music. I just want to ask you to join me in thanking the directors of the film, Rashida Jones, Alan Hicks, and Quincy Jones.
Thank you.